What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over targeting audiences for your search campaign. So one of the things that you can do with a search campaign, if we come into my search campaign here, don't mind my some ads disapproved. My website went down for a little bit, so my destination URLs weren't working, but should all be working now, so just waiting for Google to check all my destination URLs. So if we're running a search campaign and we're looking at all of our different ad groups here, one of the things that you can do is actually incorporate audience targeting with your ad groups. Now, let's start here by looking at our total cost per conversion for this campaign. So if we come to the bottom, for this campaign, we've driven 906 conversions at $1.39 per conversion. So the reason why that's helpful to know is when we are targeting different audiences in our search campaigns, we can use them to see if any audiences perform better than not targeting audience segments at all. So we're here in audiences in our search campaign. So you just click on audiences on the left-hand side. I've already added some to the campaign level, so we'll be able to see how these performed. Now keep in mind, there's two different targeting settings that I'll go over, but you can see for this campaign, I'm targeting keywords related to farmhouse decorations, farmhouse furniture, so people looking to improve their home. So what I have here is homeownership status, homeowners, I have home decor enthusiasts, an affinity segment. So there's a detailed demographic, an affinity segment, 3 different in-market audiences related to home decor, home furnishings, interior design and decorating services, and then all users over the last 540 days. So we're looking at the all-time results for these different audiences. So if we come over here, what you're going to see is the total conversions driven from people in these different audience segments and the cost per conversion. So for example, the homeowners segment, the cost per conversion is $1 per conversion. So it makes sense to actually increase our bid when someone is a homeowner because they tend to perform better for this campaign. Now you can also see down here, all users over the last 540 days has driven 10 conversions, cost per conversion of $1.21. So what you're looking for when you are adding audiences to your search campaign is you're looking to see if they actually perform better than your cost per conversion for your campaign. For example, this home furnishings, $2.13. This audience segment is actually performing worse for us than if we weren't targeting them at all. So what you can do is if you're seeing an audience not perform as well, you can actually decrease your bid adjustment. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is the targeting setting as you are adding audiences to your campaign or your ad groups. So if we click on edit audience segments, you can see first we can add them to the campaign level or the ad group level. I have all 6 of these added to the campaign level. So what you want to do is, let's just say we're choosing for the campaign level. It's going to pull up all the different audiences that we can target through search campaigns. So especially if we come over here to browse, you can see detailed demographics, affinity audiences, in-market audiences, your data and similar segments, and then combined audience segments. So we can target all of them for our search campaigns. But the main thing you want to keep in mind, if you choose targeting, so it's going to narrow the reach to that selected segment. So if I choose targeting, and I choose homeownership status homeowners. Let's just say I choose targeting and all I'm targeting is homeownership status homeowners. That means if somebody is not in this detailed demographic, people who own the home or apartment they live in but may still have mortgages, if somebody's not in that audience segment, they will not see our advertisements. So when you choose targeting, it's going to narrow the reach of your campaign. I would highly recommend not choosing targeting for search campaigns, but instead choosing observation. You're not narrowing the reach for your campaign. You just have the option to adjust these bids on selected segments. So what you're able to do with observation is you can either bid more aggressively by increasing your bid adjustment or less aggressively by decreasing your bid adjustment. And the other thing with observation is you can just simply observe the performance for that audience. So if we're looking at the affinity segment, home decor enthusiast, I haven't adjusted the bid at all. So if we're coming over here, cost per conversion $1.58, conversions 142, that's about what the campaign was in general. So by just observing this, I can see that this particular audience hasn't really increased or decreased the effectiveness of my campaign. Now, something like homeownership status homeowners, that's been the best performing in terms of cost per conversion audience segment for my campaign. Now, the other thing you can do if you are targeting audience segments for your search campaigns is we can come in here to ad groups, and let's just take one of our popular ad groups, farmhouse curtains here. So for farmhouse curtains, you can see I have the most clicks, impressions. My average cost per click is 25 cents. And let's see, our conversions 288, $1.52 cost per conversion. So what I can do for an ad group like this is I can say I'm going to come to tools and settings. We're going to go to our shared library and we're going to open our audience manager. So I've already opened the page, our audience manager here. And what I can do is click to create a new data segment, a new audience, and let's just say curtains website pages. And let's just say 30 days. Okay, so we're choosing the segment members, visitors of web pages, and the action will be any web page visit in the last 30 days. We're going to refine it. The page URL must contain curtain. So all of my URLs are descriptive. So if there's a product page with curtains on it, it's going to probably have curtain in that page URL. My main curtain pages that people visit the most and the landing pages where I'm sending traffic, they all have curtain in that page URL. So this is saying anybody who's visited my website in the past 30 days and has viewed curtains or any page that is somewhat associated with curtains, we want to add them to this list. It's going to be our curtains website pages over the last 30 days. I can come down here. We can pre-fill this segment with people from the last 30 days. You can add a segment description if you want, and we can create this segment. And then what we're able to do after we create this segment, it's going to start populating. So you're going to see here, curtains website pages, and it's populating. So what we can do is come over to our ad group. We can open up our farmhouse curtains ad group here. We can come down here to audience. So once we get to the audience screen for our farmhouse curtains phrase match ad group, the thing I want you to keep in mind is if we are adding audience segments to the campaign level, we're not going to be able to add them to the ad group level. So if we come over here to edit audience segments and we choose to select the ad group level, what you're going to see is this campaign is already using audience targeting. Please remove the audience targeting from the campaign before adding it to the ad group. So we'll click on cancel, and what we need to do is come back to our search campaign. So we're coming back to the campaign level. We're looking at our different audience segments. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose these audience segments and we have to remove them altogether if we want to add them to the ad group level. Now personally, I generally use audiences at the campaign level because it can be difficult to manage audiences for each individual ad group. But if you do get enough traffic and you do want to do it at the ad group level, then it's worth trying because it can only help with your performance. So let's remove these different audiences. We're going to confirm. Don't remove your audiences if you already have them because you might as well keep them there. Okay, so all 6 of these have been removed. So I'm going to refresh Google Ads and we're going to go back into our ad group. Okay, so we went back into our farmhouse curtains ad group here and we're in the audience tab. So we're looking at the audience segments. So now let's click on edit audience segments and let's choose the ad group level. Okay, so now since we've removed them from the campaign level, it will allow us to create audiences for the ad group level. Now you definitely want to use observation because you don't want to narrow the reach. But if we come over here to browse and let's see if our new audience has shown up yet. So let's see website visitors and you'll see here curtains website pages. So we can choose this audience, click on save. And now we're observing how people who have actually visited curtains pages on our websites are performing for this particular ad group. Now the other thing you can do is if you do create segments at the ad group level, and we do come in here to observation again, you can just come to search and I can search curtains and we can see if there's people that are in the market for curtains, people who are in an affinity audience that would make sense. So we can also do similar segments. So I have a different curtains website visitors audience here. So what we could do is similar segments. Anybody who's visited my pages on curtains, Google Ads will go find people who are similar. We can add an in-market segment for curtains and window treatments, and we can target these 3 different audiences at the ad group level. Click on save, and we know that they all have some level of interest in purchasing curtains just based on the targeting. So now if we come down to show table, you're going to see the ones that we've removed, and we have 3 new audiences here. So what we can do is try to target these different audiences. Now you may get an audience not eligible. So if it's saying not eligible, it's too small to use on Google properties since my curtains pages really don't get enough traffic to create audiences at the ad group level. So it doesn't really make sense for me to do it. So you could include this in-market segment at the ad group level, but to me, you could also try just doing it at the campaign level. Just create some of your different audiences at the campaign level that you want to target. And you can also just use this home decor in-market audience as well, which is going to be a little more broad, but people who are generally looking for home decor. So hopefully this makes sense, targeting audiences for your search campaign. I prefer to do it at the campaign level. I just wanted to show you how you can do it at the ad group level. You'll see if we come over here, level. So the initial ones I had were all campaign. We can see our performance for each individual audience. We can adjust bids up or down. You definitely want to use the observation setting for search. If you do use the targeting setting, it's just going to narrow the reach of your campaign. So there are some instances where you can use targeting. Ultimately, I generally use observation, and I would say it's much more common to use observation and to also use them at the campaign level. So make sure you're testing audiences with your search campaigns. This is how to target them. So when you're at your search campaign and you're looking through it, you just click on the audiences tab and click on edit audience segments. Now, the last thing I want to go through is you can also exclude audiences from your campaign or individual ad groups. So if we're at the campaign level now, and let's just say we're going to add this to the ad group level because I already have them at the ad group level. So let's say for farmhouse curtains, I want to make sure anybody who I could say, I mean, I'm already targeting a remarketing audience, but just to, let's pretend I get rid of those. I'm just targeting that one in-market audience, and I want to make sure that anybody who has visited my website over the last 540 days, I could do over the last 30 days, I could say anybody who's visited my website over the last 7 days. You can try to choose some of these different audiences and then exclude them from seeing your search ads. Now, there's not many reasons that I would recommend doing that, but if there are certain pages on your website you do want to exclude, or if somebody is recently converted, you can exclude website visitors, whether it's a recently converted audience or people who have been to your website, if you're trying to reach new people. So just keep in mind, you can also use audience exclusions for your search campaigns. I also generally use these at the campaign level as well, just because if you have a large campaign with a lot of ad groups, it can be difficult to manage exclusions at the ad group level. So I generally use those at the campaign level as well. So audience segments, you can easily add them to your search campaigns, and then you're able to observe how they're performing, and you can adjust your bids up or down. Let's say I want to increase my bids 100% for this audience. Click on save. A $10 bid will become $20. You can also, inversely, you can decrease your bids. You could say by 100%, by 50%. A $10 bid will become $5. We click on save. So it's one way to look at performance and to understand how your performance is being affected by different audiences who are searching your keywords and then visiting your website and whether or not they're converting. So if you have any questions about this, please leave them in the comment section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.